4th, 2025 meeting is now called to order.
Going on with our iRead tutoring program, and I'm not going to share any more than that because we've got people here that are ready to share their expertise with us. If you saw the video, you saw some of them here, and they even have moral support in the back of the room, but such a great program going on. And in District Spotlight, you'll hear more about that. I want to feature this program that we had recently. This is the second year in a row they have had this out at the Career and Tech Center, the Future Women in Criminal Justice program. This was an amazing program once again. We got so many views on this on social media, got good local media coverage of it as well. This was an opportunity for our students in this program, who happen to be about 70% female, to hear from law enforcement and other community leaders who are females, Vanderbilt County Sheriff's Office, Prosecutor's Office, EPD, FBI, State Police. They got to hear from people who are doing this work, and they really did share their experiences, and you could see that the students in this program were just hanging on every word that they said. The girls in this program also actually organized the event, so they took so much pride in not only learning, but putting this together as well. Really was a great opportunity for them to learn from people who are in the field right now, so pleased to see that. Also want to lift this up. At a recent district development meeting, which is what we have monthly for all of our building leaders to come together, we had an extensive session on safety and security. And what really made it powerful was the conversations going on with our building leaders at the tables. But we also had representatives from EVSC PD, EPD, Vanderbilt County Sheriff's Office. As you can see, the officer in this particular picture, those officers went around and actually sat at the tables with our building leaders, helped them to process different situations, scenarios, answering and asking questions. Really was a great opportunity for our leaders to process all types of things related to safety and security and have the expertise of law enforcement. I've run into some of our law enforcement officers who were there since then, and you can tell how serious they took this. In fact, they were saying, we hope it was okay, and we assured them it was fantastic. We got great feedback on this, so really pleased to be able to have this great learning experience for our leaders. And last but not least, you may have missed this. I believe last Monday was National Pickle Day. We always like to be able to lift all of the great things going on in our food service program. They really do go out of their way to do fun things for our students in the cafeteria. I can tell some people are scoffing at this. They offered pickle pizza for our high schoolers, middle schoolers, and 5th and 6th graders and 4th graders. I understand it was a big hit. So thanks to our food service department, this is a great idea. If any of you are thinking about adding a menu item to your Thanksgiving Day Thursday, here you go. I can tell Trustee Duckworth is thinking about this seriously. But again, kudos to our food and nutrition department. They really do a great job making our food appealing and fun for our students. And President Ragland, that's it for good news.
Thank you. I guess when we need that meal before Thanksgiving Day and you need to feed everybody, and just give them pickle pizza. Thank you. And please look at the artwork. It is North High School. That is on the wall, please. We are now ready for public comment. Pat Childers.
President Ragland, we have two people who have signed up for public comment tonight, both of whom are seasoned veterans of the public comment arena. We'll start with Larry Samples. Welcome back, Larry. We missed you last meeting.
I had a basketball game last week. When there's a sporting event, that trumps the school board meeting for Larry. We are 3 weeks into the girls' high school basketball season. Everybody here needs to attend a Central High School girls' basketball game. School board members, EVSC staff, everybody in the audience. Central has an outstanding female basketball player, Maddie Shirley. What did she accomplish in 3 years at Central? As a freshman, she was a starter. As a sophomore, outstanding player in the conference. As a junior last year, outstanding player in the conference. Last year as a junior, her point total for the season was higher than anybody in Evansville ever, male or female. Also higher than anybody in the conference ever, 715, the all-time record, Maddie Shirley. Senior this year. Made All-State last year. Most of the basketball records of Central she has obliterated. Led Central to a regional championship last year in the semi-state game when they lost. She scored 46 points. Maddie is a hometown girl. She's going to go to USI and play basketball. Wants to stay close to home. Wants to be a nurse. After college, will stay in Evansville as a nurse, a homebody. But Maddie Shirley, outstanding basketball player at Central High School.
Thank you, Larry. Our other speaker is Lori Young.
Good evening, President Ragland, trustees, and Dr. Hoover. As we approach Thanksgiving, I want to share a brief note of appreciation. The Evansville Teachers Association is grateful for the continued opportunity to be present in our schools, supporting colleagues in classrooms, assisting with small group instruction, and lending a hand wherever the day requires, even if that is this science teacher teaching an English lesson. Okay. The access helps us, ETA, to respond in real time and stay connected to daily experiences of educators and students. As we enter the holiday week, it is a good reminder that our shared work is strongest when all parts of EVSC move together in support of students and staff. I hope each of you finds time next week or this week for rest, connection, and the people who matter most. On behalf of ETA, I wish you and your families a warm and peaceful Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori, and that would be all the speaking we have tonight. Thank you.
Very much. We are now ready to move into consent items. Dr. Hoover.
Good evening, President Ragland, members of the Board of Trustees. We have 5 consent items for your consideration tonight. They are 3.01, consideration of the minutes of the November 11th executive session and regular board meeting. 3.02, consideration of the allowance of payments with invoices, net payroll, and payroll obligation totaling $14,771,728.47. 3.03, consideration to approve grant proposals. 3.04, consideration to approve change order number 1 for the Bossy High School first floor corridor flooring renovations project. And 3.05, ratification of the second amendment to the purchase agreement for the 421 Chestnut Building. These consent items are presented for your approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second have been made to accept the consent items. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now ready to move into personnel recommendations. Michelle Williams.
Good evening, President Ragland, members of the board, Dr. Hoover. Tonight's personnel recommendations include the following: retirements, resignations, regular appointments, temporary appointment, resignation of temporary appointment, leave of absences, appointments to extra duty, transfers, after-school appointments, and consideration of the administrative appointment of Mark King, boys head track coach at Wrights High School, consideration of the administrative appointment of Emma Nolan, girls head track coach at Wrights High School. These recommendations are presented for your approval.
Move approval.
Second. Okay, a motion and a second have been made to accept the personnel recommendation. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. And that motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we are now ready for District Spotlight. Dr. Hoover.
Yes, I am glad tonight to have Dr. DeCarla Owens here to talk about our Title I tutoring program. She is accompanied by Jamie Henson and Rachel Gross from Fairlawn and Gina Allen from Teacouple.
All right,
thank you for having me here this evening. I'm going to talk for about a minute and then I'm going to turn it over. So our third grade literacy for the state of Indiana, the goal is 95% by 2027. So that rolled out a year and a half, I think 2 years ago. Title I offered the after-school Title I IRE tutoring. We decided to look at some data and pilot one of our schools. So we did pilot one of our 11 schools that house that grade level, and by doing that we end up with 75% of our students showing growth and passing the IRE, which was awesome. So then we decided to offer it live for all 11 of our schools. We ended up having a nice amount of students in that particular group last year with over 90% of growth, and then 80% of our students ended up passing that was within that Title I tutoring. We made it live this year. We offered this to our second grade students who didn't pass IRE that are current third graders. And so with that, we end up having 30 of our EVSC teachers providing this service for our students. We have our literacy cadre coaches that are involved. We also have our teachers who are trained in science of reading that are involved. And then we also provide PD at the beginning of the semester. And we also have PD for the second semester. The program is 7 to 8 weeks for small groups, and teachers can choose to have 1 or 2 groups. The sessions are 2 days a week for an hour. And then we partner with the YMCA. They reached out to me last year. Every week, students receive a free book to take home. With the attendance of more than 90%, they get a basketball. At the end of the program, they receive a pizza party. It's a recognition party. They get an award, and their families are invited to participate. And then the teachers, I never did mention that, but the teachers get a $40 gift card to utilize at Tools for Teaching for participating. So we're just really excited about this. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our team.
Hi, I'm Gina Allen, and I was partnered with DeCarla and Sandy Moore, the early literacy director, to carry through our curriculum that we use during the day into our after-school tutoring program to build background knowledge with the science of reading best practices.
Hi, good evening. I'm Rachel Gross. I'm a third grade teacher at Fairlawn, and it was really neat to see how these kids have grown just in this matter of 7 to 8 weeks, and just to see that their love for reading to grow and their confidence. Like at the beginning, you know, they were kind of nervous or didn't really want to read in front of people, and the more the practice they got after school, and with it being a smaller group, they really blossomed, and you could see the growth in their reading.
Hi, I'm Jamie Hudson. I'm a reading specialist at Fairlawn, and just as a teacher and the teachers that are providing this time out of their own busy lives, we're seeing the growth, we're seeing the kids succeed, building the confidence, and as a teacher, I think we're just all in, not just giving them what they need to pass the test, but also lifelong lessons.
I have a question. Is there anything that we've learned going through this that we can incorporate with our day-to-day reading instruction that will help our scores get higher and kids enjoy reading more?
So the instructional practices that we use in after-school tutoring, the teachers in third grade are implementing in their classroom. So it's kind of a through line.
Thank you. I got a quick question. Oh, somebody else, Melissa? Okay. So you mentioned the science of reading. I probably got this name wrong because I'm going back. Was there like a Scarborough reading rope or something along those lines?
Yes.
Okay. And I remember seeing a presentation. I thought that's interesting, right? And how important play is when you're teaching kids to read. Am I on the right track if I'm remembering this correct? It's really from birth on, right? So is it, were we missing the boat as a society? And then isn't a really strong dynamic, maybe a preschool? Isn't that important as we lead them into kindergarten so they don't get behind? Am I making sense here? Does that make sense?
Starting it early, yeah.
So we need to start we really need to, kindergarten and first grade are the main 2 grades where we have to catch them. Once they're mid-first grade and we haven't caught them, it's off, the graph is just off the chart. It's too big of a gap.
When we recognize that a child is lagging behind, do we have ways that we can do a sidebar to where they get brought up to speed?
So we use our Tier 2 intervention program, but teachers also have student-centered goal timing, and they implement chances to catch those students up.
Great, thank you.
You mentioned, like, is it 30 teachers? You said 30 instructors. So does that mean now it is in all of our elementary schools?
It's in all of our Title I elementary
All
schools.
Title I
Yes.
schools, okay. So you, in some of those schools, you have more than one that is helping with the instruction of this.
Yes.
Thank you.
You know, if I may, the video was absolutely amazing. I actually had to watch it twice, and I just want to say thank you, Dr. Owens, for your leadership with this. I will come back to you, but Ms. Gross, there was something, Gross is your last name, right? Okay. Ms. Gross, the one thing that you stated when you did your interview, if you will, one word that I try to use a lot, even for my own self and other young ladies that I mentor, is confidence. And I think sometimes it's a word that we don't hear when it comes to reading, right? We hear it on the outside of what you look like and all those things. And so I had to write some things down. And I just want to let you know that those moments, especially when I heard that word, that's something that can't be measured on a spreadsheet. And so it changes the trajectory of a child's life. It really does. And so thank you for using that word in describing that. And Dr. Owens, thank you definitely for everything that you do and the passion that you have for the students and leading your team. Because I literally felt just the love and the passion, the genuine, right? In the interview that you did with Dr. Hoover. The one thing that I do know, and I always would tell my kids this, when a child learns to read, they grow into adults who continue to learn.
Absolutely.
And that is absolutely amazing. And so thank you so much, because it's something that is very needed and fundamental, as we know, to get us from the beginning up until the end of our life. So thank you so much for this. Thank you.
Can I ask another question, just because, I mean, this is interesting to me. Has there been any research done or that you know of that shows the importance of really a strong dynamic, whether it's a preschool, then leading to kindergarten to first grade? Does that have a dramatic impact when they get to, say, the third grade on their reading capabilities?
Yes, so it's really the language that's used at home, it's the amount of words that students are exposed to. And if they're not exposed to it at home and they're not in a preschool, they're missing all those opportunities.
I just have one comment, and I was telling Trustee Kiefer about this. Before Mrs. Allen, Gina, came to the EVSC, she was a preschool teacher, and she taught my two youngest children. And our family has a love of reading, and it was really nice to have a partner in preschool who helped instill that and reinforce that in our kids. And my youngest daughter, who is now 21, we can believe that, I know, she's now a preschool teacher. And so I just want to tell you how much I appreciate that you have fed into the lives of children in this community for so many years. And I can't wait to go home and say, I saw Miss Gina. That's awesome. My son, and let him know that too. So thank you.
And to answer the previous question, if a child isn't reading by the third grade, the statistics are scary. And if you know anything about them at all, that student will most likely drop out of school. And there's a pipeline that's followed sometimes, unfortunately, and you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Preschool, and I've always said it, I'll say it again, preschool is the key point, because then they start. By the kids that don't go to preschool, and you know this, the kids that don't go to preschool are the ones that are automatically behind. And you're capturing the ones that have maybe missed out, and you're helping the ones that are already there. So what you're doing right then is you plant that seed. That's when that seed has to be planted. Because by the third grade, I hate to say it, but the trajectory of that student or that child, that person, it's not good at all. And thank you for what you're doing and to answer your previous question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I remember years ago I took, I think it was a class, Bridges Out of Poverty, and it really pointed out how that, there's less words spoken in the home, and so it's less vocabulary and less expression. So it is very much appreciated what you do. The fruits of your labor, we are seeing that come to truth. So thank you so much for what you do.
Very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're now ready to move into our action items. 6.01, Dr. Hoover.
Yes, good evening again. Tonight, I am requesting your direction regarding the proposed purchase of the Chestnut Street property. As you know, this process began nearly 2 years ago, and the board approved the original purchase agreement in February of 2024. It is reasonable, given the time that has passed, that renovation expenses would likely be much higher today than they were then. Also, since that time, several important factors have changed that require us to reassess our path forward. The first is recent changes in state law, particularly those affecting property tax structures and school funding. That's created uncertainty in our long-term revenue outlook. Because of that uncertainty, taking on additional debt, including a $25 million bond, carries a greater risk than when we started this process. Second, we've had numerous discussions this year as a board about safety and security, and that remains a top priority for you. As we prepare for a comprehensive district-wide safety audit that's coming before you tonight, we must ensure that we have the financial capacity to act on the recommendations that emerge. Third, you recently approved a major renovation project at Central High School to support the Academy of Science and Medicine. This project is already underway and will significantly expand capacity for one of our most successful innovative models. In fact, it will double the current capacity. In light of these developments, I recommend that the district exercise its right under Section 5-1-7 of the purchase agreement to terminate the agreement. This section allows the buyer, at its sole discretion, to terminate the agreement for any reason or no reason prior to the end of the inspection period, which is December 1st. At this time, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I move approval. Is that appropriate at this time?
Second.
Motion and a second have been made to approve the status of the 421 Chestnut Building.
Excuse me, for the record, the motion is to approve the superintendent's recommendation to terminate
Yes.
the agreement.
Correct.
For clarification purposes. And the second?
Second. Yeah. And I'm in agreement with Dr. Hoover with the 2 points that you brought up that I'm very passionate about is safety, number one. I came from a very dangerous line of work. I was an iron worker, so I walked the beams way up in the air, and I saw people get hurt. And for me in my life, safety is paramount for everyone, and it's a culture, and we need that culture to continue. And I think that money would be well spent in that area. Also, the other point was about the revenue that we could capture. The first bill number one, and they narrowed it down, they boiled it down a little bit, but we were going to lose in our public schools $536 million. Now that's in a calendar year, so we go sometimes, and Carl can understand, he can explain this. We go by a calendar year sometimes, and we go by, school years. But in Vanderbilt County alone, that bill was going to rip $23,935,000. Now that, again, got boiled down. I don't know what, I'm comparing apples to oranges, I'm sure, but that just gives you an idea of how far the extent could be. We need that money for safety, and therefore I will be voting yes.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And that motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Hoover. We're now ready for 6.02, Rick Cameron.
Good evening, President Ragland, members of the board, and Dr. Hoover. The Office of the Chief of Staff presented his information on November 11th and present tonight for your action adopting Policy 4304 to align with the Indiana School Board Association's numbering system, replacing current Policy 5517.01. The revised policy also incorporates updates required by Senate Enrolled Act 255, Section 5, adopted during the 2025 legislative session, which amends the statute regarding notification for reported incidents of bullying. I'd be happy to answer any questions as you entertain a motion.
So moved. A motion and a second have been made to approve the adoption of the bully policy 4304. Are there any questions or discussion?
Mr. Cameron, we have, they have a certain timeline with when a child is bullied, that parent find out, correct? Mm-hmm. And what is that, it's 24 hours, is it not?
Well, it is, let's see here. Upon becoming aware of a bullying incident, the corporation shall immediately begin an investigation and notify the parents, guardians of both the perpetrator and targeted student no later than the end of the next school day.
So
roughly
that's close.
24 hours.
Yeah, I thought I had that right. Okay, that gives parents a definite timeline. Not that we didn't do that before. It just gives a definite timeline when they will know, no doubt, according to our policy, that their child was involved in some way, either victim or perpetrator.
Yes.
And that is going to, in my opinion, help parents deal with it. They'll know, yesterday, this is why they came home upset, because kids don't talk to their parents, unfortunately. And I think this is a great policy. I think it's an improvement. I don't know that it couldn't be further improved, but I'm going to vote yes, because I think it's absolutely an improvement, and I think it's going to help parents.
Thanks.
Any other questions, discussion? Okay. Hearing none. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And that motion carries.
Thank you.
We're ready to now move into information items. Rick, you have 701 and 2.
Yes, for your information, 7.01. Following careful analysis and consideration, the Office of Chief of Staff recommends renewing the EVSC property and casualty insurance policy with Liberty Mutual and Chubb. This coverage includes property, equipment, vehicles, and liability, including cyber liability, associated with routine business operations. The policy maintains the same basic design and deductible structure as previous years. The increases for certain coverages continue to reflect the ongoing changes in the Midwest insurance market. The total cost of renewal will be $2,441,899.01, which reflects a 12% increase over last year's rates. The funding source is the Operations Fund. This is presented for your information tonight. I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have about our property and casualty insurance renewal.
I don't have any questions per se, but I would like to just make a comment. I just want everybody to realize how big our corporation is. I mean, we have, when you look at everything, if I have this number right, it's over $1.6 billion that we need covered, that property and liability and everything.
Equipment, vehicles.
Yes, so it's a big corporation.
Yes, it is.
There's so many variables to have to look out over and throw a blanket over, but the one thing that is relatively new to this that I'd like to maybe get some more information on is the cybersecurity side of it, because I know that there's a new state law that is to be in effect by the end of next year that says that all political subdivisions or governmental entities must have a plan. And that's not just something on writing, but it's something that is in effect that would protect the federal and state funds that come through to those entities. And want to make sure that we've got everything covered there.
Sure. Good. And then the next information item, 7.02, the Office of Chief of Staff solicited proposals from firms qualified to perform comprehensive school safety audits, including firms recommended by the Indiana Department of Homeland Security. Following an extensive review of these proposals, including interviews, we are in the process of finalizing a cost agreement with one of these firms. Their proposal will include a full review of our facilities, emergency procedures, supervision practices, and campus security protocols. The finalized cost proposal will be brought as an action item for the approval at the December 15, 2025 meeting. The funding source will be the operations fund. Again, this is presented for your information tonight, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
So I do have a question. So after they do their review, okay, that's going to be a dollar amount. That's not going to be the big dollar amount. It's what's going to come from that review. So when they come in, they may say, hey, we have so many buildings that we need to move walls or whatever. That's where the implementing many of the things they're talking about, where the bigger numbers are going to come into play. And I think that's where we go back to some of the reasoning behind what we're doing. And as we bond things, we need to keep that in mind, because safety and security, I know for every member of this board, is of utmost importance. So I look forward to seeing that. And then did you say, will they come and present that? Did you say
We've
that?
made that pretty clear in the discussions with firms.
Okay.
That is something that we want.
Okay, thank you.
Rick, are they going to give us some comparables to urban districts like our district in regards to what other communities are doing or not doing in that regard?
Yeah, and Mr. Whipkenberg had an actual conversation with some of the references that these firms have done business with, and they've done with smaller corporations, maybe larger corporations, and then so they'll give us a full range of what other corporations are doing for safety and security on their campuses.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, discussion? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're now ready for 7.03, Steve Scheller.
Good evening, President Ragland, members of the board, and Dr. Hoover. The Southern Indiana Career and Technical Center Cosmetology Renovation Project 2026. Notice to bid was advertised on October 10th and October 17th, 2025. A mandatory pre-bid meeting was held on October 21st. Bids were received on November the 6th. The board has received a bid tabulation sheet for this project, and I will be recommending awarding this project to ARC Construction at the next scheduled school board meeting. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Good evening.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Well, the question that I have for you, knowing, of course, if there aren't any challenges, what is the estimated time frame of completion? You know, I'm very excited even just to read that and to see it.
It is exciting. So we plan to start this project as soon as possible after contracts are signed. We hope to have it done by the end of April so we can get the licensing in place to be able to put this program in place for the fall. And Robin has shared, she's here today, and she has shared that they have a lot of applicants. There's a lot of interest in this program, a lot of excitement. So everybody involved with it's very exciting.
That is awesome. And I think at the last meeting, I think Trustee Duckworth and Trustee Kiefer talked about haircuts, and so just sign me up.
Can't mess this one up.
Do I get half price on a haircut? And Janet wants to know.
Challenge is what we're saying.
Janet wants to know when she can get her nails done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very hit program. I can't wait later for Barber. Thank you very much. We're now ready for 7.04, and you have 7:05 and 7:06.
Good evening, President Ragland, members of the board, Dr. Hoover. I have 3 information items for you this evening, all related to E-rate infrastructure projects. If it pleases the board, I would like to go through each one and take any questions you may have at the end. On September 5th and 12th of 2025, the EVSC advertised request for bids for the purchase of wireless access points, cabling, uninterruptible power supplies, and associated services. A mandatory pre-bid walkthrough meeting to address any questions was held on September 25th. On October 30th, evaluations of the proposals were completed. Information item 7.04 specifically deals with the proposals for access points, cabling, and associated service upgrades. 8 vendors were evaluated based on price, local support, compliance to bid requirements, and references. The Office of Technology recommends the bid be awarded to PC Quest. The solution price for 5 years is $875,269.64. Following eligible E-rate discounts, the cost to EVSC will be $175,053.93. The funding source will be the Fall 2025 Common School Fund. Information item 7.05 is for the proposals for uninterruptible power sources, or UPS units, and associated services. 4 vendors were evaluating the price, local support, compliance to bid requirements, and references. The Office of Technology recommends the bid be awarded to CDWG. The solution price for 8 years is $1,918.87. Following eligible E-rate discounts, the cost to EVSC will be $120,383.77. I'll get it right. The funding source will be the Fall 2025 Common School Fund. Information item 7.06 is for proposals for structured cabling and associated services to replace old network cabling still in some of our schools. 6 vendors were evaluated based on price, local support, compliance to bid requirements, and references. The Office of Technology recommends the bid be awarded to PC Quest. The solution price was $35,077.60. Following eligible E-rate discounts, the cost to EVSC will be $7,015.52. The funding source will be the Fall 2025 Common School Fund. I know that was a lot of exciting information about IT infrastructure. And I appreciate you holding all your questions till now. But feel free, if you have any questions now, or if some come up later, please let me know.
No, I was just going to ask, the uninterrupted power supply, what does that mean?
So basically, it is like a big battery pack and does 2 main things. One is clean the power. So when power comes into the building, it's really dirty. Our electronic equipment, our switches that make the internet work, don't like dirty power. So it makes it clean. And second, it gives you a balance of time when the power goes out that you have services. So we like the sweet spot of around an hour. So if the power goes down, the majority of power outages last less than an hour. So we have coverages in our communication closets to cover that outage.
Dumb question. What's the difference between this and like a Generac or something where you use, I mean, we're going to battery power, okay.
So,
but go ahead.
Actually, in a perfect world, you'll have both. You'll have a battery backup system, and that will work until the generators kick in. That way there's always clean power, and generators are really bad about having dirty power. So it filters that power as well. So in a perfect situation, you'll have both some sort of generator system coupled with a battery backup.
Okay, gotcha.
Good question, thank you.
Good evening. My I was gonna say, the only thing that I truly know about technology is just Control Alt Delete, right? Love that it's local, love to see a local business that is on this list and awarded the bid. So thank you.
I'm very excited about this company. We can't rate because it's federal on this, but this is a veteran-owned company that we worked with in the past, and they've done great service for us. I was really happy when all the numbers lined up.
I like local contractors, you can call them. I don't want you to have to call Indianapolis. If I hire somebody to do something around my house, I want them to be around in my area. I like to keep it local if I can, obviously, but I like that. I really do like that. I agree.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're now ready to move to 7.07, Michelle Williams.
Joe is a tough one to follow. Good evening again, President Ragland, members of the board, and Dr. Hoover. Tonight, I am presenting information to you on the renewal of our reinsurance agreement with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield for stop-loss coverage. This reinsurance agreement protects the EVSC from substantial loss due to high-cost healthcare claims. The deductible for high-cost claims remains at $325,000. The total cost of the renewal is $2,386,463, reflecting an overall increase of $608,929. The increase is tied to higher number of large claims in the current plan year, which pushed the market to further adjust rates. The funding source is the Operations Fund. The EVSC continues to operate under a 3-year agreement with Anthem, which includes no increase in fixed administration fees through 2026 and continued RX discounts and rebates that support stronger returns to EVSC. Tonight, I present this as information. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Question. Good evening to you. What are some examples of high-cost claims?
So those are going to be our employees that are experiencing situations such as cancer and different things like that.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you. You have been warning us of this and talking to us about it for months, and I appreciate you giving us the warning what it was going to be. It's not easy, but it's a little bit easier to swallow. Thank you.
Any other questions, discussion?
And if I may, one more thing was, and I even think what Pastor Gamblin stated is that, just hearing some stories of other businesses and or organizations that the cost is just ridiculous. But though, of course, being a school corporation, that it's still doable. So, thank you.
Unfortunately, it is a nationwide issue.
Yes, yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. We are now ready for 7.08, Tammy Dexter.
Good evening, President members of the board, Dr. Hoover. The Office of Schools and Instructional Corps recommends approval of the program of studies for the 2026-2027 school year. This program of studies includes courses and titles and number changes requested by the EVSC high schools. All of the courses have been reviewed by the appropriate content director, the administrator officer of the high schools, and myself to ensure that there's alignment with the IDOE approved courses. These items are presented to you for information, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
I have 7 questions.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I brought phone a friend.
Draw all of them.
I've got is a couple on the not the barbering, but cosmetology.
Yes.
When they'll start their junior year at the Career and Tech Center, right? Will they be able to get those 1,500? Isn't it 1,500 hours that are required?
I'm going to turn this around. And yes, there are lots of hours that are required, and they should be able to. They're going to start junior year, so they'll have that by end of senior year. So they should be able to get those hours in.
There'll be extended hours too, like for customers, and likely a Saturday option too, because just attending, if a student just attends the class only during that time, that will not equate to the 1,500 hours, but there will be options for students who are extremely motivated and really want to get that whole thing done to be able to do that.
And then I noticed in a couple of these, can you give me just for you, just a brief, because I know SEAL is in a lot of these honor SEALs. Can you, just a brief overview of those SEALs?
You mean for?
Graduation pathway, and SEALs come along with that, right?
I can talk to you about that for a second, and then know that we are planning to come back because the SEALs are part of the new diploma, and we haven't had an opportunity to kind of.
That's fine.
Yeah, we're gonna come back at a couple of different times and talk about the new diplomas and how that's different, and include the SEALs, and then also the new accountability model, which should be, we should know exactly what that's gonna be by the end of December.
Okay, that's different time, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and when we do that, I think like it'll be interesting. This is, I think 21, if I counted right, which is, it's been a long time. I always presented program of studies, and it's been a long time since we've had this many courses going through, but it is because of the new pathways. And so when Tammy comes back to present the new diploma and an update on where we are, we'll just make sure that the new courses are a different color so that you can see like what the new courses have done to open up pathways for students.
You have a question. Sorry, Dr. Underwood. Hi, Ms. Exter. The question that I have regarding principles of interior design, design fundamentals, and the materials, finishes, and design classes is essential. I think of the class at Bossy with Ms. Gray, and I guess my question would be, is this something that could be offered at Bossy as well? If that makes sense, incorporating those classes together?
So two different pathways.
Okay.
Once we take anything through program of study, so right now Central's wants to add this, then other schools can also add that as well. So it may be that if they decide to offer that FACS pathway, they would be able to do that. But right now, the course at Bossy is underneath that entrepreneurship.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
No problem.
Any questions, discussion? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Now, we are moving into 7.09, 10, 11, and 12. Dr. Underwood.
Good evening, President Ragland, members of the board, and Dr. Hoover. I do have October month-end items for you this evening. For the Education and Operations Monthly Review, as of October 31st, 2025, 82.34% of the Education Fund budget has been expended, leaving a balance of $47,306,690.43. In the Operations Fund, 73.13% has been expended, leaving a balance of $17,638,328.62. Summary of cash balances by fund. These are the balances for the debt service, education, exempt debt service, and operations funds. Expenditure ledger summary report by function and object. This report breaks down expenditures by function and object code. And finally, the revenue summary report. This lists revenue as of October 31st for the education, operations, debt service, and exempt debt service funds. Happy to answer any questions you may have about those.
Carl, tonight we've discussed a number of different projects and situations where funding comes into account. The financial climate in the state and locally is something that is a challenge right now because there's some unknowing that we can't put our arms around. In a perfect world, of course, we would like to have all the possible programs that we could have for students. There's definite cost and personnel, and we've gotten into insurance this evening, and only so many funds go so many ways, and this board has had to kind of weigh all of this stuff and put it in a way that we can best serve our students. We want to capitalize on the best in-class instruction that we can do, but we have facilities we have to take care of. We have insurance, we have salaries, and we have to keep a viable balance in reserve in the event of something that comes up. So I think we have a very good team to advise the board, to seek out experts in areas that maybe even our staff doesn't understand, to bring us information that can help us make the best possible decisions. And I think, Darla, you and your team are doing that for us, and it's not easy. It's not easy to say, well, we're not going to do this now or whatever, but it is part of the reason we make all the big bucks. Okay, so we do what we can. I think the decisions that have been made here this evening have been good. So thank you.
Anything else? Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We're ready to move into continued business. Dr. Hoover, and anything that other board members have to share?
I'll start. One of the things that I love most about being superintendent is being able to be in schools, and in particular in classrooms. And I am happy to say that I've been able to make it to all of our buildings and to go into classrooms in all of those buildings. And I am extremely proud of the work that our teachers and students are putting in, and grateful to our families for sharing their students with us. I want to thank this group for being here tonight to talk about the reading efforts. We are so proud of what's going on in our schools. The results last year were awesome, and I know you're working hard to make sure that continues. So very grateful to Dr. Owens and to Jamie and Rachel and Gina. And I think Hannah and Jody from Fairlawn are in the back here to support. But, I'm really grateful you have other places you could be tonight, so thank you for coming to share that with us. And your passion for what you're doing is evident and certainly appreciated, so thank you. And then lastly, Jason and I need to double check our list, because good news and my continued business list look very similar. But one thing I also want to note, Angie Oliver, the principal at Glenwood Leadership Academy, was honored by the YWCA as a woman on the move for making a difference in our community. And so a group of us were able to be there with her. So congratulations to Angie. That's it for me.
One thing, the art that we have tonight, and a lot of times, is beyond art. It is really good, especially tonight. There's a picture of a person with their hand, and there's another picture of another person with their hand, and tied to each finger of the different hands is a red thread. And that is very interesting because that's rooted in Chinese mythology. It's called the red thread of fate, I think. Don't quote me on that. But it's very interesting. As soon as I saw it, I did a double take. I looked back. That's very interesting that they took that. And then there's another picture, and it's a young lady, it looks like, looking in the mirror, and the mirror shows one thing, what she sees in the mirror, and the truth. And, sometimes we're, and it looks like maybe she has acne or something, and it isn't that bad on her face, but it is in the mirror. And I thought, wow, these are some really, I'm always impressed with the art, because I stop and look at it, and Janet and I have talked about it several times. We'd like to have that in our house. I'd just like to let these students know that you can very easily get a call, because we're decorating our basement right now. And those people are very talented, very talented. I actually had, when I was driving a school bus, I actually had a young lady, and she was pretty good at art. And she sat behind me, and I got her to pencil a picture of the woman at the well. It's a biblical picture. And it was a very good picture. And I'm telling you, we really have some talented students here at EVSC. Really admire them. I am actually a great artist. You should see my stick figures. They have little hands and feet and everything, so I put hair on them. Very talented, very talented.
Oh, gosh. Do we still have art shows?
We do. That's why I was imagining, I don't know when North Show is, but we do. And I know if this is Ms. Swader's class out at North, I know they also will do some commission work sometimes. Yeah.
Some of the work.
Yeah.
We're going to feature some of these on social media tomorrow too. Anytime we have some really outstanding artwork, we try to go around and put some of them out there so a wider audience can see them.
You'll hold my attention until we get to the stick figures.
I would like to just take a moment and thank each and every one of you for your thoughts and your prayers. Most of you know by now I slipped a 2 weeks ago Monday on the ice at the church and broke my back. So you're gonna have to see me like this till February the 11th, but that's okay. It'll be all right. But thank you.
And it was admirable because that Monday night, we had an ISBA, a meeting, but we were awarding Vanetta Becker, and Terry was there in pain and not knowing the full extent of what's going on. So that's admirable that you were able to do that. So
That's good.
thank everyone that attended. If we have any students in the audience, if so, would you come forward and state your name in the mic real loud and your school?
I actually don't think we do.
Everybody's getting ready for Turkey Days. Well, my thought for the week for everyone is being grateful for everything you have will invite more things into your life to be grateful for. When you practice gratitude, you will come to understand how the universe responds. Start and end your day writing down one thing that you are grateful for today. Once you start, you will soon realize how much you truly have. And used to teach my kids, gratitude will change your attitude.
That's good.
So if there's nothing or has to come before the board, the November 24th school board meeting is now adjourned.
Have a good Thanksgiving.